Statesmen from the fourth estate. We are here because the Honorable Peter Salasya was abducted last week on Friday by unidentified persons purporting to be police officers. They shot at the rear tires of his car. His car came to a stop. They intercepted him and forced him into their car. They drove him to unidentified destinations before they landed at the Central Police Station on the evening of Friday. We were denied access as advocate acting on his behalf. His relatives and staff were denied access. But this morning, after pressure from all places, including the riots by the constituents of Mumias East, which riots took about 5 hours yesterday, and the headquarters called Shanda came to a standstill, the state decided to produce him before court today on what we will term as very defective and far-fetched charges. We had to reschedule plea taking because the prosecution had drafted a fundamentally defective charge sheet. When the charge sheet was brought, the Honorable Salasya was charged with hate speech. That on or about 10th of May this year, he made remarks which bordered hate speech. Of course, as counsel for the defense, we raised issues with that particular charge. Salasya has never been summoned by the National Integration and Cohesion Commission for questioning. There was no unrest, as is the case and the norm when a person is alleged to have made inflammatory statements that border hate speech. Be it as it may, the court has found it just and reasonable to release him on a cash bail of 200,000, and therefore he is a free man. And the court has ordered the state to ensure that Salasya's security is intact, he is protected, and that he is under the radar of protection of the VIPs. This is after we raised an issue on the withdrawal of the firearm from his bodyguard, and the court will make a substantive ruling on the return of the firearm on the 4th of June. As advocates for the defense, we want to call upon the state, led by the head of state, to stop using agencies that are independent to fight against constructive criticism. They should face Salasya as a man, and if they have an issue with him, they can square it out on a national debate. But using the police to abduct people, young leaders, people who have shown interest in the liberation of the country is uncalled for. Arresting people on Friday was a colonial dictum, because you arrest on Friday and you are aware that courts will not be available on Saturday. This arrest was basically to blackmail, to intimidate, and to ensure that Salasya tones down on his presidential bid, that he tones down on his criticism of government, which we urge our client to remain firm and steadfast, and that the Constitution protects his fundamental rights and freedoms, and that he has the freedom of speech, freedom of movement, and he can declare an interest in any seat as enshrined in the Constitution. And lastly, we want to call upon the state not to weaponize the prosecution, not to weaponize the criminal justice system, to ensure that we have a free and fair playground. We have seen very bad precedent where a member of parliament like Salasya is arrested in a manner that will depict him as a terrorist or a person on the radar of the Interpol, international police. Why would you shoot at the tires of a vehicle belonging to an MP to have him arrested? Why not just summon him? Why not arrest him in a civilized manner? The use of force must be reasonable, and the use of force is only an avenue where the person being arrested has resisted arrest. How would Salasya have resisted arrest and he was in a moving vehicle? You can never resist an arrest when you are in motion. That is not our common law. We are prepared as advocates, generally working for opposition and working in protection of the people fighting to liberate this country. We will see the frequent arrests. This is not the first arrest, it will not be the last arrest. Salasya may be rearrested after this press conference. We'll be back here to have him released. I want to call upon the judiciary to remain steadfast to protect our rights and fundamental freedoms. Times change and regimes change. The police officers who are being used today by the state to fight and oppress the state critics will one day look back and say they made a mistake. And that time will come, it will be very soon. My co-counsel will also address you briefly on the issues that I have not addressed on.
Good afternoon. My name is Mutembei, and I just want to address one particular thing. Article 49 of the Constitution is very express as far as the arrest of accused persons. I appeared on Friday before the director of investigations. I pleaded for them to inform us where Honorable Salasya was. I was at the headquarters for close to 3 hours trying to get information as far as why excessive force is used upon him. And this is very, very disturbing, because if any other citizen was to face a similar circumstance, what will the public say? Mind you, this is a sitting member of parliament who was arrested under such circumstance. It's not a sheer coincidence that we are living in a place whereby we are dealing with state capture. It's very, very trivial, and it's very, very important that we have to stay steadfast, because any person can easily experience the same thing. And it may not seem as serious as it may be, but the Honorable Member of Parliament indeed endures a bit of some trauma from that experience. And it's also very, very concerning that the persons who are mandated to protect him, they do not have the arms to protect him as he's supposed to be. Just recently, we experienced Honorable Were, who was assassinated. What can happen to Honorable Salasya as it is? Right now, he's under the protection of the members of Mumias East. That's what has to happen. Until the IG, I personally called you, and I'm going to speak to you through the media. Honorable Salasya needs to have proper protection. And that's not something that we are asking for, but it's something we are demanding immediately. That is all.
Yeah. As counsel for the Honorable Member of Parliament, we don't take this lightly. And to us, we opine that it was an assassination attempt. So we call on the Honorable Speaker of the National Assembly to move fast and ensure that the life of the Honorable Member of Mumia East is secured. Thank you so much.
Okay, first and foremost, to begin by appreciating or thanking all the Kenyans for standing with me in solidarity, because I remember the day we announced it and told the Kenyans that we are under attack. It was all over, and within a short time, all Kenyans were aware of what was happening. I want first of all to condemn the incident, because from the information that we have got, remember it was on Saturday when they came to our residence where we were staying in Mombasa. And what they did, because if they are government officers, there must be a procedure of arresting an officer who is also guarded by other officers, because it can turn to be dangerous. Like maybe you're thinking that these are genuine, maybe they're not police, or it can be turned into something else. So when we assumed it, then they came on that particular day, on Friday, and they decided to shoot our car. And I think that was, it could have turned into something else. It is only by the grace of God that we are alive today. And I think one thing that I just want to ask the Director of Criminal Investigation, Manamini, that always communicate to your officers and give them the reason, genuine reason, why they are going to arrest that person. Because I was arrested like as if I'm a robber. or have killed someone, murder or something like that. But just for the propaganda or something on social media that even I'm not aware of what was written, I don't know, because I have so many accounts, people have opened in so many accounts on my behalf, so I might not be able to know who wrote what at what time. But coming and attacking me at that level, it was very much unfortunate. And this is a call to all Kenyans that we can't continue living in a country whereby it's being under the police. We have to stop this kind of harassment from the government agencies and all that. And even, in fact, when I asked those people why are they harassing me or arresting me, they were not even they didn't even know what they were coming to arrest me for. So I think police officers should not be used before they go to arrest anyone or to go to do any investigate. They should be given clear instruction that we are going to arrest this person because of ABCD. Because the way we were manhandled, the way it was a very bad, very much unfortunate, and no any other, and I will never wish to see any Kenyan treated the way we were treated that particular day. I want to tell the Director of Criminal Investigation that he should use his office appropriately. He should use and follow the law, because power is transient, and we know today we are being harassed. Today, I should not be mishandled the way they did, because I've announced my presidential bid, and I want to ask President William Ruto that I can only be the best president if as I'm going to win the president of 2027. I'll be the best because I will not harass him. It's only me who will not harass him. The rest will harass him. So he should treat me well, because you see, Kenyans can know, Kenyans can feel. He can even also tell that Kenyans they have already lost the trust, the hope in him. The young people have lost hope in him. In fact, what I'm doing today, I'm doing the best thing to walk and speak to the young people so that they should not lose hope. Because if they lose hope right now, they can even decide again to go and march to the State House and do crazy things. So what I'm telling them is that to cool down, so that we get it and express their dissatisfaction at the ballot come 2027. So I want to ask the president that he should not take advices from other people and use the government agencies to frustrate somebody like me, because I'll be the best. I will not revenge to anyone. I will only restructure the economy and revive the economy of our country called Kenya. And I will forgive him. I will respect their families, and I will do whatever. So I want to tell them that again. 2027 is a year for the young people. We want to rebuild Kenya. We want to rebuild Kenya. We want to make Kenya great. And all his age mates, like the people like now, the likes, they know themselves. I don't want to mention all of them. We want to. They should just give us the space for this country, for the young people, so that we can see. Because we are in another era whereby they cannot understand the dispensation, the generational change that we are talking about. Even if we give them 10 years from now, we give them 20 years from now, they cannot understand the concept of generational change. So 2027 is a generational change. So they should treat people with a lot of, and I want to ask people who are closer to the president, they should not misadvise him. They are making Kenyans to be bitter and bitter and bitter. And there is nothing worse like leading people who are bitter. Bitter. Yeah, I think that is what I can just say. I think we were with Mheshimiwa here when we were arrested. Maybe you can just tell, I don't know, maybe you have a story.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tasila Kawiri Alekulu, a politician from Meru County and Tigania East in particular. For sure, I'm in a very big shock on why Mheshimiwa for Mumias East, Peter Salasya, the incoming president, on why he was arrested. Actually, we had discussed with him. It is even me who had invited him in Mount Kenya region so that he can come and see the way the development has not been done. And unfortunate, when we reached in my own constituency in Tigania East, is this road from Murere up to Isiolo. All our cars, and particularly for the Mheshimiwa, the incoming president, received a puncture. We had to stay there for 1 hour before we got sorted out. So me, I'm just requesting the people who are harassing us and who do not want to see the new leadership, just to give us a space and just see what we will do when they put us into office. And with those few remarks, I'm saying thank you to all people of Tigania East, Meru County, and Kenya at large who have stood with us since Friday. And God bless you, and continue praying for us to liberate this country. Thank you.
Okay.
Haya, mna swali lolote ama tumaliza?